What's up, guys? So now with the lithium battery in the car now for over a month, I'd like to be able to monitor cell voltage up on the touchscreen on the dash, just so I could see kind of what the cells are doing. I did install a balancer, cell balancer. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But the idea is with a FrSky RC cell sensor, you can wire this into the 4 cells, and then it will communicate over a one-wire setup to the fuel pump controller in the back of the car, and then I can create a CAN bus message and send that message to the front, and then decode that, create a serial packet, send that data into the touchscreen display, and display the individual cell voltage. Plus I can add all the cell voltages up and give an actual total voltage of the battery down to 1/100th of a volt. I was really hoping for resolution down into the millivolt range, so 1,000 of a volt, but 1/100th of a volt is probably fine, especially for what I'm doing. So I'll show you guys that as we go. Alright, so here's the Teensy 3.2 board that I made to hold the Teensy 3.2, which is this guy. It goes on top of there. CAN bus transceiver goes down there. And then this is the sensor, voltage sensor. And the idea is this end over here has got a power, 5 volt, and a ground, and the yellow wire is a signal. So what I'm gonna have to do on here, because I need to use TX2, so pin 10. So on here I have pin 10 labeled. You can even pin 10. Pin 10 goes to this side of this dual channel MOSFET, which the gate is there, which leads up to this resistor. So I just need to run a jumper wire from that hole there over to these pads here, and that should put signal out to this hole here. So I have this guy, which will get soldered, if I can find it. This will all get populated there, and then I'll be able to split this wiring open and plug that into the connector there. And then on the other side, this wiring harness will go to the individual battery cells and will plug into here. So this will get looped through the car down to the battery, and then I have enough service loop to connect all this up to the battery cells. So I've got a little bit of soldering to do. And then we'll flash that guy with the new code, and I should be able to test this on the bench to make sure it's going to work first before I put it in the car, and then I'll go start cutting holes in the back of the car. Alright, so while I wait for the serial monitor to pop up on the laptop, I'll show you what I got going on here. So 4-cell LiPo plugged into this FLVS sensor, COM port running over there with the modifications I made to the board, and then now the COM port's up. We'll plug this in, we'll set it into serial mode to receive that, or to broadcast data out the port, and we'll see what we get. Alright, so we got this all plugged together, hooked up to the sensor, to the battery, serial data getting pumped out. Ooh, let's see if we can see that. So, each cell is 3.81, 379, 381, 385 with a total battery voltage of 1527. So that data gets pumped out of our CAN bus message back up to the front of the car. Alright, so pulled the battery out of the back of the car. I wired in this pigtail. Breaks down into individual cells. So I think I got it all strain relief correctly, so it should last for more than a couple days, hopefully. So this side is going to have to get punched up through the cavity underneath the car up into where the fuel pump driver is at to plug into that microcontroller. So we'll get going with that, see if we can get this thing running with the battery just sitting on the ground and all the data moving, and then we'll button it all up. Alright, in the back of the car, Teensy 3.2, the CAN transceiver and all that stuff, DC motor controller over there, and then our voltage widget here. Ooh, got the shakes. So wiring runs down to the battery. Oh, down here. So I'm just going to hook all the cabling back up underneath, and we'll put power to it and see what happens. All right, all that's hooked up underneath. Ooh, let's see what the lighting's gonna do. Car's on, blinker's running. So in theory, oh, there we go. 407, 406, 407, 406, 16.26. That's pretty much what I was seeing at the back. So now I wonder. Put, 13.8 or 14.0, you shut the car off, the voltage will settle at like 12.8 or 12.6. But with the lithiums, it stays at whatever that last voltage was, because I'm not charging this above 100%. I want to run like 90, 95% on the voltage. It should be 4.2 volts per cell at fully charged, but your capacity above that isn't really there. It's when you're a little bit lower, closer to 4.0 is where you're kind of like in the meat of the battery. So we're like just above that at 408, 407 per cell. Yeah, so the alternator's not having to really do a whole lot. It just kind of like tops that last little bit off. It can only put out 16.3 or so, and I'm seeing 16.28 on the dash there. So it'll be interesting to follow this for a little bit and see kind of like what the trend of the battery is, and the fact that the cells are still within a hundredth of a volt of each other. I still want to calibrate exactly. Like I can see a 408, 406, 408, 406. I want to see if that's exactly what the multimeter reads, because if it's different, I can trim that in the software to make the dash match what the multimeter matches. And then it gets back to the old, if a man has two watches, he doesn't really know what time it is, because both watches are always going to be different. So it's like, is the multimeter more accurate than the little sensor widget? I don't know. As long as they're equal, I can make them kind of match, then I can kind of assume that the cells are balanced all the time, and I'd be able to see if there's an issue. But yeah,